So first we had Sapphire Dumbo, and then we had Steel Dumbo. I promised you an Amber Dumbo, and I gave it to you in the form of the Monster Combo list. And this week we have Ruby Dumbo. The only one that is left to complete the Dumbo package is Emerald. So we'll see if that comes in subsequent weeks. Hello there, Lorcana lovelies. Today I have a weekly recap for you today. What happened this past weekend was we had the big SCG Con in Las Vegas, where Star City Games does like a whole bunch of different tournaments for different card games, and Lorcana was there with a CCQ. We had 356 people at the CCQ. Which is pretty awesome to see, and we had some good decks come out of it. So everybody thought the meta was settled when the Prince Philip deck came out, and then the week after that we had kind of a great show with the dogs and the Amethyst Steel. And this week we had a return to the classics with some Amethyst Ruby. So let's go take a look at the top deck lists, and then we'll go into some gameplay. All right, so here is the first place list. It was a mirror match for between first and second in the top. So second place was a version of Amethyst Ruby as well. This was the first place one made by Anna Tade. If I said that wrong, I apologize, but congratulations for coming in first here. And let's take a look at what we have. So Amethyst Ruby is a classic one, but this is not kind of the bounce control that we saw back from like set 2 onward. This is a lot more of like a tempo evasive heavy list. So as you can see, it does play the star of evasives, which is Dumbo, and it plays a good evasive line to go with him. We have the Genie and Elsa, which is kind of standard for all of your evasive decks. And we do have, since this is Ruby, the new Peter Pan that we can toss in there for the evasive line as well. And the Ursula Vanessa Whisper, which when she's boosted has evasive. Other kind of cards that are standout ones in this is we have the Headless Horseman, which kind of does a nice little removal thing, especially against aggro. So when he comes in, he banishes a character with strength 2 or less, which means that some of those annoying aggro characters, especially coming in late game when the aggro deck just needs one character to stick around, he can get rid of them very nicely. Demona is a 4-of. She's pretty awesome. I love that she draws you cards, and she also taps down everything that your opponents have to be able to swing into them if you need be. And the Cheshire Cat. By far, Cheshire Cat is like the star of this list. In fact, I think he should go in every Amethyst list out there. He is absolutely amazing. Being able to boost him and move 2 damage around is great. The fact that he is a 3/4 also means that 2 damage can be on him, and it doesn't necessarily kill him. Free to be able to move it around and be able to save him there. The other Diablo, the smaller red one, is also kind of a stellar card. It is a 3/3 that quests for 2. There's absolutely nothing to complain about there. And last card I'll mention is the Lumiere, which pumps everybody's power by +1. So this is our first place list. Great list. I really love tempo lists. I really like that the new Hercules was in this. When I saw him, I thought, oh, he looks so fun. And I didn't expect him to see him in kind of a top list, but I love him. I think that he looks great. Let's go into our other top 4 lists. Like I said, we are playing the top lists against each other, but since this was a mirror match, we didn't just want to play the mirror match. That's not as interesting as playing something else. So we're playing the dogs version of the list that came in the top 4. This is a list by Shadowix. Again, if I said that wrong, I apologize. I love this dogs list. I love kind of any version of the dogs list. The lemon lime kind of very aggro heavy list is, I think, great. We have the lady in the tramp line that's in like all of them. The lady that quests for 3 if she's got power 3 or more. The lady that quests for 1 more if there's a tramp. The lady that brings friends with her. The lady that brings things back from the discard pile. And then we have the tramps that kind of synergize with that. So the tramp that costs less if there's lady in play. And then the tramp that costs less for every single character that happens to be out there. Absolutely awesome lines there. And that is a pretty standard in this deck at this point in time. What makes this version of the deck different is we have Fennec there. A nice big kind of creepy baby in a bunny outfit, it looks like. So Fennec lets you bounce something, so you don't necessarily want to play him on turn 1. You want to be able to play this character when you can but pay the extra 2 ink to be able to bounce something. We have Go-Go's, which are great for that extra little bit of lore that you need to be able to do to cross the finish line. And the other 3 cards, I guess, that were different in this list versus the one that I played in previous weeks was we have the Bodyguard Raja. We didn't get to see this played, but I really like the idea of it. The Webby Vanderquack, which we actually opened boxes to try to get another Webby because we didn't have any more in the store. And we didn't see her played, which is disappointing because like I really wanted to see her played. And what this Webby says is if your opponent has more ink than you, when you play her, you get to take the top card of your deck and turn it into ink, which is just a great way to ramp because chances are your opponent will probably have more than you, especially it's a bonus for being on the draw as opposed to the play. And then Della's Moon Lullaby, which shrinks a character. Great list, really like it. This has a tough time into the Amethyst Ruby list that we're about to see. So let's go into some gameplay and then we'll kind of do a little bit of a wrap up. All right, we're going into game 1 here. So these are both relatively new decks, I guess, to us. We've played the Dogs deck a couple times, but I am going to be playing the Tempo list. So the Ruby Amethyst list is one that I'm really excited about because I really liked Tempo Steel Song, and this kind of feels like going back to a Tempo list. Josh starts by playing a Daisy, so starts by a really aggressive start. It's going to feed me cards, though, because I have a lot of characters in this deck, and I'm going to play a Tinkerbell. The Tinkerbell is a 3-1 stat line here, so it can't take out a Daisy, but if he had played almost any other character, it could have taken her, she could have traded with them. He's going to quest the Tinkerbell after playing 2 ladies, and I'm going to get a card off of it. Going back to my turn here, I'm going to pay 2 for the new Diablo, so it's a 3/3 that quests for 2, all really good things. And then I'm trying to figure out if I want to challenge or quest or not. I'm going to decide to pass there. Reason for that being I don't want to lose my Tinkerbell for no particular reason because it'll just put 3 damage on the Daisy, but it won't actually take it out, and I will lose my Tinkerbell. Whereas next turn, looking at his board there, I might be able to make some more advantageous challenges. Josh plays a Tramp and a Bobby. He's going to discard the Under the Sea. It's not going to do a huge amount against my deck, so especially not compared to other decks, so it is a good card to discard to try to just get something else. Josh quests for 9 there, so there would be an argument for holding because I could take his characters out, but the idea is that you want to swarm with this Dogs deck and quest as quickly as possible, so questing there forces me to have to start to make some trades and use my characters for challenging, which is exactly what I'm doing here. I am using my characters to challenge as effectively as I possibly can while keeping my characters out. So the Tinkerbell challenges the lady with 0 strength so that I can have her stick around. And the Diablo challenges the other one. I have a Cheshire Cat there, which means that hopefully I'm going to be able to start to move some damage around and get some characters gone with that. And Josh is going to kind of empty out his hand and play as many things as possible. Instead of feeding me cards with the Daisy, he decides to take out the Diablo with it, which is a pretty good idea. Because you don't want to be feeding a bigger deck than you more cards. And it kind of leaves me almost empty. So I boost Cheshire Cat to be able to move the 2 damage from Daisy onto the Webby to get rid of her. And then I challenge in with a Cheshire Cat, which does 3 damage to the Daisy, who still had 1 on her, so it takes it out. And then I play 2 Tinkerbells. Josh is going to play a Bobby, and then he's going to decide not to quest, which is... It's always tempting to quest, but it's a good idea to not quest if your opponent can just kind of get more value out of your challenging into your characters than you would have with questing. A lot of these dog decks, the idea is you quest a little bit early and then you challenge, and then you hold back to be able to have 1 or 2 big turns. I played in Elsa though, so it means that the cards that he was holding back to just try to keep safe are less safe now. Tap down his Tramp and get rid of that. And he's going to play a Chromacon. So now my math's a little bit more awkward because he's going to be able to bounce one of my characters. But at this point in time, he's kind of run out of gas, so to speak, and he's on top deck mode. So top deck mode is always kind of brutal with these aggro style decks because they want to be playing more than one thing a turn. And as soon as they start to get to the point where their board or the field is starting to be answered and they're just playing one thing, it makes it really difficult for them. I'm going to take back what I'm going to do there, and I'm going to try to think through some things. So a lot of tempo lists when it comes to this part. This is where they kind of do a little bit of the control thing, and they and what I'm doing is I'm trying to get as much as I can out of my character, so questing with all of them. Then I'm going to boost the Cheshire Cat to take out his Bobby. The reason I'm doing it that way is because he can bounce one of my characters with the Emerald Chromacon when I take out one of his characters, so I want to get the most amount of value out of my characters possible by questing with all of them. He's going to choose the Cheshire Cat. So the Cheshire Cat's the more problematic one, being able to move damage counters around. But the cool thing is that I get 2 cards off of it. So the boosted cards go with Cheshire Cats. When it goes back to my hand, so do those boosted cards. So I just essentially drew 2 cards off of that. Josh draws a tramp like a turn too late. He had so many characters there that he could have played a tramp for pretty near free, so he inks it instead. Play a Lumiere. My character's now bigger, and a Dumbo, and I'm going to start to use the ability with Dumbo to draw cards and gain lore, and I play a Diablo. Josh plays a Lady. And that's kind of all he can have there. And going back to my turn, I'm going to play as many characters as I can. G needs to draw a card. Use the Making History ability with Elsa and Dumbo to draw more cards. And I'm just going to quest out to 15. At this point in time, we're calling the game. So that is Amethyst Ruby in 1 so far. Going on to game 2. So Josh is going to be on the play. Aggro decks want to be on the play to get that extra turn. And he's going to play a Lady. So this Lady is a great first turn play because you can often get her up to the 3 strength that she needs to get the 3 lore in the first or second turn, depending on what your hand looks like. I play a Royal Guard, so it's not going to be able to take out a Lady, but the 4 toughness does mean it'll be able to stick around for a little while. Josh plays a Webby, which gives a +1 to Lady, and then he plays another Lady that puts Lady up to the questing for 3, so he may as well quest with her to get the most amount of value. I play Diablo and decide to just pass the turn. And then we're going to flip back to Josh's turn here. And he is going to play a tramp. So this tramp costs 1 less because he has a Lady in play. Actually, he's got 2 ladies in play. And then he's going to quest to 9. So by turn 3, he's at 9 lore, which is crazy fast. The Dogs deck is a really fast deck, and that is one of the things that is so nice about it. It is very fast and very effective and very consistent with it. I'm going to have to start challenging him to get rid of his characters because that is way too much lore there, and try to clean up as best as possible while keeping my characters alive because I have a lot fewer than he does. He is going, so I play the Cheshire Cat there to start to move damage around, and Josh kind of just empties out his hand. So he has a phenomenal amount of lore and characters out there. He's at 16, I'm at 0. The important part here is to kind of not just look at this and think that it's a losing battle and give up. Always kind of fight for the win there. I challenge for the Palace Guard, which puts 2 damage on him. I boost Cheshire Cat, which lets me move that 2 damage from my character to his character. And then I challenge in with my other 2 characters, which takes his massive board down to 2 characters. You can see how Tempo can kind of turn the corner with that, with the way that, that they can work there. With their removal. So he quests with Daisy, he gives me a Hercules, and then he plays an Ursula. Nothing in my hand for him to take there. I struggle with this one for a sec. This is an awkward sequencing for me to try to figure out my first time playing this. So I do originally play an Elsa. I'm going to play that Headless Horseman in my hand first. So challenging with the Diablo to just draw a card off of it. And again, I take this back here. Josh is a great testing partner. He kind of helps me through some of the decisions, especially when it comes to an early deck like this. So I play the Headless Horseman. It lets me banish a character with strength 2 or less. So I banish these characters that are there, and I challenge into the other ones, and then that leaves him with an empty board. So again, empty board is not the way that aggro wants to be. Top decking is kind of brutal. And I'm starting to collect more and more big characters. So I play another Headless Horseman, get rid of his tramp, and then start to quest. So gaining 6 in 1 turn there. Josh plays a Bobby to get rid of the kind of useless Under the Sea that's there. I'm going to play an Elsa. I take that back. I'm going to boost Cheshire Cat to get rid of his Bobby, and then I quest there up to 14. So you can see even at 19 how a tempo deck can take out an aggro deck. So that is Ruby Amethyst in 2. So as you can see from our best of 3 here, it was a tough matchup for aggro. Tough matchup for aggro because the Amethyst Ruby deck had just so many answers and removal. And their removal, unlike previous versions of Amethyst Ruby, come on characters. So it is such a character-heavy deck. And it just does the tempo removal thing so well. It can play Headless Horseman to get rid of something that is strength 2 or less, which is like most of the Dogs deck. Or it can play Elsa to exert something to swing into it. And then that Cheshire Cat's kind of the nail in the coffin, as it can move the damage counters around and make the Amethyst Ruby deck's characters perfectly safe. and it can just clean up the characters, even the characters that just came into play and are readied on Josh's side or on the dog side. You can see even at 19 lore, it was not a guarantee for the dogs list, and a lot of people would look at 19 lore and think that the game is done, especially when like I was sitting at 0. And it's a tough position to be in, especially like psychologically looking at it and saying, well, how do I possibly win when one character sticks around and does it? But as you can see, it is possible if you can draw a good amount of removal, or if your deck is built around the idea of removing things. You can see that you can still go from like 0 to 20 before the aggro deck can cross the finish line. And that's one of the problems with aggro. Aggro really struggles in that late game, mid to late game, which you can see here. When it's top decking, it is really struggling because it needs more characters, and it often needs to be able to play more than one threat per turn. So at the end of that game there, though I was able to clear Josh's board, if Josh was able to play 2 or 3 cards in one turn, it would have made it so that I may have not been able to clear all of his characters that well. But the lack of card draw in the aggro decks definitely make that difficult, and that is what aggro decks tend to struggle with, is the card draw. They're really good in the beginning, but they do kind of often stall out in the end, and it is the lack of cards that is really at fault for that. My thoughts on the Amethyst Ruby deck are, I loved it. I love tempo lists. I think that this is a really nicely designed list. It is a list with a lot of fighting options and answer options and removal options, but it also has the nice things about like the really aggressive lore questers like that Diablo, and it's got kind of that Cheshire Cat. I think that Cheshire Cat should be a 4 of, and like every list. I think he's phenomenal. So I now have to go and look at all of these decks that I'm really excited about. Really excited about the dogs. I was really committed to the dogs last week. I now really like this Amethyst Ruby list, and I'm thinking I'm going to switch from dogs to that. And I still like the idea of the control lists, and I have absolutely no idea what I'm going to play, and I have to go and play in a couple of hours, and I genuinely don't know what deck I'm going to play, and I want my princesses to be good. So I'm going to go struggle with that thought. Good luck for yourself when it comes to picking a deck, because we do legitimately have a good tempo list, a good aggro list, and a good control list, which gives us that nice perfect rock, paper, scissors type of thing, which is a really healthy spot and a frustrating spot when all the decks look good to play. Good luck on your choices, and I'll be back later on this week where we're going to be playing more of the Amethyst Ruby tempo list against some other stuff that we've got kicking around to see if our fun decks can really kind of hold its own against this one.